that's my problem. Trying to figure out how to get GyroFlow to stabilize the footage of my Runcam Thumb Pro.
Hi, I'm Matt. You probably know me. You've probably seen some of my videos before. Well, I'm an idiot. And I say that because I spent multiple days trying to get this Runcam Thumb to work perfectly with GyroFlow. And if you guessed that I didn't get it right, well, you guessed correctly. But before we can continue on with this story, I got to bring you back to the beginning 3 days ago. You see this happy idiot here? Yeah, of course. This happy idiot here was all nice and happy and ready to get out there and ready to fly. All my quads are set up, ready to roll, and then I had a malfunction in one of my quads. But that's fine. I still have 2 other quads that I can do testing on. Well, it was windy out, it was nasty out, and my results were terrible. Okay, well, it happens. That's life. So what do? I turn around and I go out the next day. And I decide to completely start my video all over from the beginning. From scratch. Well, it's sunny. There's hardly any wind. I'm in a empty parking lot with a building. It's going to be just perfect. I'm going to have a ton of fun. And I'm going to get the results that I want. And I'm going to put it out there. And I'm going to be super, super happy. Well, I fly. And I fly. And I fly. And then I go home. I give my first few flights a try, and they just don't work. It looks like garbage. So I research, and I'm looking, and I'm reading, and I'm watching, and just nothing is working the way that it should. So I do what anybody in my situation would do. You just keep trying. You keep trying. You try different things. You just continue it on, try different things, and hope for the best. And that's what I did. I just hoped and tried and switched things around and just continuously recompiled all my videos, old videos, just even GoPro footage, just to see if I can make a comparison. And the same results each and every single time. That's just it. There's nothing more I could really say about it. It just kept, just didn't work. And it turns out that there's some issues with this camera. And before I bring you back to current time, there are a couple things that I do want to talk about with this camera. Namely, how it is advertised. And if you go to their website, you will see that it is actually advertised as supporting GyroFlow. Built-in gyro. Perfect output, smooth and stabilized video. Now, I look at that knowing that GyroFlow is a third-party program. In that I have to, run it like you would Real Steady Go or Insta360 Studio. But to other people who might not know, they're thinking that this camera is going to be stabilized within itself. And it says, perfectly output, smooth and stabilized video. Now, there is nothing that I'm seeing from my video that is perfect in any way with stabilization. There's nothing that I'm seeing at other people are having issues with, just like I am. Looking at it on the Facebook groups, looking at it in Discord servers, they're all having the same issue with this camera. So to me, that's very, very misleading. And I hope that they're going to stand by what they're saying here and they are going to fix the issue one way or the other. But, I mean, look at this. This just even shows even more so what I'm talking about. Look at the footage that they're showing here. This footage is smooth, it's clean, it looks nice. I don't know how they got that. I don't know what camera they're using. It looks like the Runcam. It looks like they're actually using a Runcam on this, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's my problem. Trying to figure out how to get GyroFlow to stabilize the footage of my Runcam Thumb Pro, because it's just not working. It's not working at all. I've spent hours and hours and hours of trying different things, researching, watching, just everything, and I've even done like full videos, and I just haven't put them on haven't uploaded them yet, because it's just, I'm like, I really think that I can get this to work. I really think I can get this to work, but it's above me. It's above me, and it might be just something that it's just going to get fixed later on. I don't know. As far as the camera itself, this little thing is really cool. I really, really like, here we go. I really like the form factor, the shape of it. I love how you can just simply switch out the lenses for ND filters, or just a simple lens cover. I think the camera's footage is actually really, really good for a little tiny $90 4K camera. I think the 4K footage looks great. But if I can't get it stabilized, it's no point for me. There's no point for me. And to be honest with you, I would probably say for majority of the people out there, there's no real good point in it if you can't get it to be stabilized. Because if you're not stabilizing it, it looks gross. I mean, there's some cases where you can see some people flying like some center lifters and stuff like that are just like amazingly tuned, and they're big and heavy, and they're not affected by any kind of wind or anything like that. And those things fly super smooth. Okay, maybe. But for just a regular average Joe, I would say probably not the best purchase, unless you're confident that they will either come out with a fix on GyroFlow's end or on Runcam's end to fix I think it's the same as the Runcam orange issue, where it's, was it duplicate frames, and I think it's in the optical data, not in the gyro data. And when you try and sync up the gyro and the optical, it just it just doesn't go through. It just screws up, and it causes this like vibration that goes up and down in your footage, and it looks terrible. It looks absolutely horrible. And then it gets blurry, and just it doesn't look good. And I'll show you here in just a second. So if you're confident in that, then I would say absolutely purchase it. If you need it, just need something inexpensive that will give you good gyro data. From what I've seen with people with center lifters running Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, and stuff like that, that it actually gives them really good gyro data that comes in a separate file. It's not like a GoPro where it's built into the video file. It's actually just a separate individual file. It's called a .gcsv file that you can just add to your let's say your cinema footage, or if you're running like some other kind of camera or something like that. Like if I wanted to strap, my little Lumix here onto my 7-inch or something like that and use that, I could actually take gyro data off of this. Now, I did everything that I feasibly could. I even created a 4K lens profile for it, and I used that because there wasn't one in the list. There was a 2.7K and a 1080p, but yeah, I mean, that's just all I can say. So this is what I did, and I'll show you right now. I'll pull it up and I'll kind of go over. I should just give you an example of what I've been going through. So,
All right, so I'm going to show you here some of the steps I took to try and make this footage more stabilized. Let me grab a file here. There we go. All right, here we are. So you just drag and drop your file in there and come over to my lens profile. Grab that. All right, good. That's for the 4K. I'm going to put a little pass filter on there. Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like pre-stabilization. Real quick, let me just expand the screen out a little bit more. Take the stabilization off. Oop, I hate when it does that. So this is pre-stabilization. I mean, it looks like regular unstabilized FPV footage. Nothing fancy or special. Quality of the video looks good. Now, if I stabilize it, I'm going to go with pretty much the factory settings for GyroFlow. Now, I'm going to do just a section here. That way it's faster. And it's not doing the entire thing. And let's hit auto sync. So now, according to GyroFlow devs and Nerk's video, you only need 2 sync points to get good, steady flow. Get it nice and steady and looking good. Well, here, I'm going to show you. This is now stabilized version. And if you notice, see how it's like jerking up and down, up and down, up and down? Well, that wasn't there in the unstabilized version. So it's actually adding that, a lot of that jerkiness to it when it's trying to stabilize. And part of that is because you're getting like random drops or random frames being duplicated or something like that with this camera, and this is what's causing the issues with this. It's actually not the gyro data itself. The gyro data itself is supposedly good. It's something with the visual data. I have no idea. I found a preset that was designed for the Runcam Orange, because the Runcam Orange has this issue, but it's more on a timing basis rather than being random with the Runcam Thumb Pro. So let me grab, there it is. There is the syncs. I'm going to delete my sync points here, and I'm going to drag and drop the preset right there. And it's told to change this to 1.5. And time to sync analyze is supposed to be at 1. There we go. Now this preset's actually going to do the, whether I have this right here, this clip set right here, it's going to do the entire thing anyway, regardless. All right. I'm still going to just show you the same segment that I chose. So now I ran that, and you can tell almost immediately that it's much smoother. It's not great, but it is definitely... okay, maybe it's not. Anyhow, it's somewhat of an improvement. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm done with trying to figure this out. Pretty much it boils down to the Runcam thumb is the issue. It's not GyroFlow. And I'm tired and done trying to make my footage stabilized with this camera. So, I'm going to leave you with some more footage here in just a second, and that's about it. So, before I leave you to this footage, I just got to say that it is a good camera. I mean, look at the quality of this freeze frame right here. It looks good. It really does. I hope and pray that they get it fixed, because if they do, hell, I will use this thing on a lot of different quads just for some fun flying, because hell, it's $90 and the image quality looks fantastic. So yes, in this video I was a little upset because I planned on doing something completely different with this. I wanted to get a little bit more into depth, a little bit more into detail with everything. But if it wasn't going to actually stabilize and look somewhat decent or semi-decent, then what's the point? You know, so that's kind of where I stood. But overall, I would say that I'm pretty confident that either GyroFlow or somebody, you know, working with GyroFlow, or even just a very technical GyroFlow user might be able to come up with a preset like they did for the Runcam Orange to fix the issue that they have with that, with the optical data. So just keep an eye out and see what happens. I will definitely keep it updated if I get any kind of information or get presets for it that it will actually make this work right. Also, you're able to get it to, you know, sink in and do a really good job with it, then please let me know in the comments. I will love you for the rest of your life. I mean, because the quality is just nice, and it's just great. So I just want to thank you for watching the video. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this and enjoy my other videos. And I will see you next time.